Alright, some vintage amps have field coil speakers, and a lot of people get freaked out by field coils. It's old technology, but it's actually very simple once you understand it. What you have here is a field coil, and that basically functions as an inductor. It's a choke, and the power initially goes through there. It can also go through a couple of capacitors at the same time, but this particular coil is 1600 ohms, 1.6K. At least that's what it's marked as. Let's test it real quick. My wires that are going to my field are here and here. This 10 one and that 10 one. They're actually going between capacitors. So I put my leads on there, and what do you know? It's a little over 1500 ohms. Plus or minus 100 ohms is fine. So that's good. But how do I know that the output transformer is good on the field coil? And I'll show you a quick little test you can perform if you've got a 9-volt battery hanging around. Alright, so what you do is put one clip on, your black clip, to the negative lead, and I'm just going to go direct to the leads on the speaker down here, negative, and here's my positive. So when I touch this to the positive terminal, I should hear a click in the speaker, and that will tell me it is working more or less as it should. So here we go. There it is. I hear it. I hope the microphone's picking that up, but the voice coil is moving, and it seems to be fine. So at least that's a positive. It's unfortunate the cone is ripped or torn a little bit. I think I can fix that, and hopefully it may not be the prettiest thing, but I think I can get it functional at least, and I may ultimately have to have it reconed, but it would really kind of destroy the economics of this project. So I'm going to do what I can to save it. Cone was cracked right here, and this is a 6-inch speaker, 6-inch field coil, so frankly there's not a lot of these around, so the best thing you can do, I think, is to repair it as much as you can. And so what I usually use is I use a coffee filter, and this one I've stained a little bit with coffee to kind of blend it in a little more with the cone material. I probably could have gone darker with it, but it's fine. Plus I'm doing this on the back side, and I'll do it on the front, and it's not going to show a lot because of the grill. But really what I'm doing right now is just reinforcing it from the back side, and the contact cement's good because it's a little bit flexible, and it's going to last a long time. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to do this on the front. I hate to do it, but I think I might have to, just for the sake of durability. What I do here, it's really very easy. I cut a piece of the filter material, and we're not trying to rebuild the cone, so you don't need something that rigid. What we're just trying to do is reinforce it. That's going to be too much, of course. So what I'm going to do is swipe that on the piece of wood that I have there, and what I'm doing is just going along the crack inside and putting this down, and hopefully reinforcing the paper. There we go. It's not the easiest thing to do or see, and I've got some light here, but it's still really one of the most useful things you can do is use a pencil. It's got kind of a rounded edge, and what you want to do is yeah, that's not what I wanted to do, is just kind of press it so the cement runs out to the edges wherever you can. I'm not applying it to both surfaces, and I'm not waiting 15 minutes for this because I'm putting it down and then I'm just going to let it dry for some time. Yeah, that's good. So far you might be able to see I've kind of put a couple of spots in there. Hopefully it's gonna hold it. We'll see, I guess. Okay, well, I think I've put enough band-aids on this thing. You can maybe be able to see I've gone around it probably a couple of times inside, including around the wires, the voice coil wires. I also fixed this, I wanted the 1600 to stay there, so a little spot of contact cement underneath there, and that's going to keep that down. Anyway, it came out pretty well. I'm pretty happy. The suspension seems to move like it should. I don't have any really loose spots there, so I'm going to call that a win, and I'm not going to put any reinforcement on the front of this. Now, that said, someday I may come back and rethink that, depending on how the speaker sounds. If it's got some sort of a buzz in it, kind of like Link Ray, then I'm gonna come back and reinforce that. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it. It seems solid enough. There was no dust cap on this, and some early speakers were made without them. This thing spent its life kind of vertically oriented like this, so dust was not really a big issue, but I like to have one on there. It's just a little piece of felt I actually scavenged from a speaker that was beyond repair, and I'm just going to put that in the middle. I'm going to apply this with kind of a toothpick because I really don't want to put too much on. You don't need it too much. And I'm afraid if I use the brush that's in this bottle, I'm gonna put way too much on there. Grab my tweezers and hold on to it like that. Fortunately, that one landed jelly side up. Okay. I want to put enough to stick this, but I do not want to put so much that it runs down into the voice coil. Really don't want to do that. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Drag that a little bit over. There we go. All right. I use these. These are for flossing your teeth, but sometimes they work really well for sort of tamping things down. Without a sharp edge, and there you go. I believe that's. I'm gonna call that one good. That's our field coil speaker, and I'm gonna put it away before I fool around with it and mess it up.